Age of Sail is an 18-hour, overnight, immersive living history program. It takes place aboard the historic sailing ship Balclutha in 1906, the year of the Great San Francisco Earthquake and Fire. The captain needs a crew to sail the ship north to Oregon to get lumber and rebuild San Francisco. Desperate to get underway, he shanghais a group of children, and that's where the program begins.
There are so many fantastic activities on the Age of Sail program. They get to build a bosun's chair, they get to set hawsers, take a sounding, raise up their colours via the flag halyard, they get to swab the decks. These children are really immersed in the ship.
The Age of Sail program is an overnight living history program held aboard the Balclutha here in the San Francisco Maritime National Historic Park, and its goals are twofold. Firstly, we want to teach kids historical empathy, what it felt like to be alive in 1906 at the time of the Great Earthquake and Fire in San Francisco, and what it felt like to be a sailor. The second big goal area is to teach kids life skills that will last with them forever.
My favorite thing I learned is how important the outside world is, and like how we take everything outside for granted.
The change that I noticed the most with each one of my children is the fact that nothing is too hard. The Age of Sail program, the ship trip as they call it, it's really hyped up to be one of the hardest things that they have done, and in their 10 years it is one of the most difficult things they've had to experience outside of the protection of mommy. And each one of my children walked away confident in the job that they had done and confident in their ability to face bigger and harder challenges down the line.
My favorite memory of the trip was getting the nickname Smelly Belly from the cook. The lessons that I learned were probably respect and working as a team. It helped a lot for future jobs, actually being able to work with other people.
I think one of the greatest instructional strengths of the Age of Sail program is that we don't just pay lip service to high standards, we actually hold the lads and the tall sailors, those are the adult chaperones, to very high standards. And those standards are enforced by a very strict captain and a very strict first mate. And they don't slack on those standards.
Does Balclutha have a crew? Hi!
Invariably, the kids find reserves of strength and competence within themselves that they didn't know they had in order to meet the demands of these intimidating characters.
Kids from the time they're in kindergarten look forward to this trip. We worked for 3 weeks at school, heaving lines and tying things off and working on commands, and it's my favorite 3 weeks of the year.
The crewmates on the Age of Sail program really get the chance to shine. They start out often pretty shy. They're chosen by their teachers, possibly because they haven't had the best leadership opportunities before, and they really do get the chance to take control, to listen, to learn, and the chance to fail, which is invaluable.
One lad was trying to learn how to tie the cleat hitch, and he couldn't get it for a little bit, but I finally taught him, and he was so proud of what he was doing. So I told him, now you need to teach the rest of the crew. And he heard the word teach and said, I can't teach anyone. And I said, sure you can, because all you're doing when you're teaching is sharing your knowledge of what you know. And he taught the rest of the boat crew, and he was so proud of himself, and I was so proud of him.
The coolest part of the program for me is when all of their learning comes together at the very end of the program and we cast off. We set sail for Oregon. So all the crew are together, the captain's up on the foredeck and orders the crew to sing a shanty and raise the staysail halyard and slack the downhaul, and the sail goes up and they're singing a shanty, it bellows out, and then the captain says, "Avast, do you still feel like green hands now?" And all the kids inevitably say, "No, sir."
Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
Age of Sail is just one of the many programs we offer, but we have overnights for scout groups on the Balclutha. We've got a Gold Rush Day program. You can actually get sailing on the bay on the scout schooner Alma, which is a pretty exciting 3-hour science trip. We've got a World War II submarine over at Pier 45 where you can do overnights and other science programs. I mean, you name it, we've got a program for it. So if you want to get your students or your classroom or your group of scouts or whatever group you might have involved in maritime history and spending time in one of the most beautiful local resources San Francisco has, come down to Hyde Street Pier, talk to me, and we'll find something that works for you.